sorts of other stuff, and we play a game.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
還元一級の先というのは、本当に誰も知らない字ばっかりでしょうね。私は
Okay, we've leveled up, and it is time to pick another language. Morfar är tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okula giderim. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab, and that also means elephant. Okay.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Ça, ça, c'est ça, que c'est ça, non ça, c'est ça. Sol chi sa che nulla sa, ne sa più di chi ne sa. Ecco.
Bonjour et bienvenue à Hyper Polyglotting avec Élise. Moi c'est Élise, traductrice, éditrice et écrivain avec 20 ans de travail. Et ça c'est la transmission en direct ou en jeu des jeux, surtout GeoGuessr en dernier temps. Et parle des langues, de la linguistique et de l'acquisition des langues.
10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Night. Night. Come on. Yen. Yo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bambas. Bamba, okay, Bambas is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon.
Sotto le frasche del capanno 4 gatti grossi stanno. Sotto 4 grossi sassi Quattro grossi e grassi gatti. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré des généraux dégénérés. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré des généraux dégénérés. Facile.
Sì, sì, ecco, la gente, è la cosa che mi dice la gente, sempre che scoprisce che quante lingue parlo, io sempre avevo l'impressione, diciamo, di che non era così, non era tan così, ma poi, dopo di aver visto qualche poliglota in YouTube, una delle cose che avevo scoperte era giustamente che la metodologia usata da quella gente poliglota che non avevo mai conosciuta prima, era più o meno la stessa metodologia che usavo io.
I buy a computer or what? And here's another example. I like to point these out. For this word for or, but sounds vaguely like hogun and the hok in hogun in Korean or waku in Japanese, and that appears it is the exact same kind of character.
Okay, let me see.
Un chasseur, c'est son chassé. Ses chassés sont son chien de chasse.
Der dicke Dach.
Okay, der dicke Dachdecker deckt dir dein Dach, drum dank dem dicken Dachdecker, dass der dicke Dachdecker dir dein Dach deckt.
Hola y bienvenidos al directo de Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. Yo soy Elisa, traductora, escritora, editora y comunicadora social con más de 20 idiomas de trabajo. Y aquí vamos a estar jugando videojuegos, sobre todo GeoGuessr, y hablando de idioma, la mejor forma de aprenderlo y caleta más.
Zwei Zwetschgenzweigen zwitscherten zwei tschechische Schwalben. Tres tristes tigres tragaban trigo en un trigal en tres tristes trastos.
Oh, I see. This is Diche Ishai Fui, which means do you want food? But yeah, are you hungry? That also means. How are the boys? Cocine da boya. Posso Milao. Pote. When is it? Proteine. Protopulo. In the designated chicken eating area, obviously.
Okay, still 3 times I have to defeat him. And I don't have a whole lot of health left. This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time. And we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Monsieur. Livre. Liwe, livre.
Bucks.
Mustan kissan paksut posket.
Mathieu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Si.
So
Высокий. Материк. Прочь. Интер. Почки. А. Си.
Track 6.
Aspri petra xes aspri apton ilio xex asproteri. Aspri petra xes aspri apton ilio xes asproteri.
Coginio panas.
Oh boy.
Da ferra verda ferra ferda vedri.
هقب. هفد.
Okay.
هفد.
Okay.
هفد. هفد. حق. حق. حق.
Саша по шоссе.
А Саша по шоссе несла сушку на счастье и сосала сушку. А Саша по шоссе несла сушку на счастье и сосала сушку.
معلمة.
Ah, this is Arabic. And it's from Mu'allim.
Jumani mwalimu K.
Ирак чима в чипах щемп чавю чи ченчи чини. Чирак чима в чипа да, чирак чима в чипцах щемп чавю чи ченчи чини. Бакакит алшит. Хикрин. Бакакит алши хикрин.
Oh, thanks to cat signs. Meow and the pictures of the fish. That's they were proud.
Sööpä. Kupu. Yrittävä. Puraista. Omena.
Are in the city center.
And it's got some interesting aspects to it.
여자는 어느 나라에 있습니까? 여자는 어느 나라에 있습니까? 여자는 어느 나라에 있습니까?
Countries or living things.
兄の名前は
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time. And we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So, anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Lo que pasa es que bueno, la manera, y esto se ve en tantos lugares, no es cuestión regional, sino más bien de un problema fundamental de la pedagogía oficial de los idiomas extranjeros, y que la manera en que se enseñan en tantos lugares, en las clases, en el colegio, no tiene nada que ver con el estado actual de la investigación sobre lo que se llama adquisición de idioma.
Doesn't, you can try something else.
In fact, I would say often you really know you're getting it with languages if you can't really explain why something's right, but you just bloody well know it's right.
Hi, and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. I am Elise, translator, editor, and writer with 20 working languages, and this is where we talk about languages and language learning and all sorts of other stuff, and we play games.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
還元一級の先というのは、本当に誰も知らない字ばっかりでしょうね。私は
Okay, we've leveled up and it is time to pick another language. Mordför är tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okuladayım. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab, and that also means elephant. Okay.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project. Hello and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. I'm Elise, translator, writer, and editor with 20 working languages, and this is the stream where I am on the wrong scene. This is the stream where we're going to be looking at Lingopie. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. We will find out soon enough, I'm sure. A language learning platform that looks kind of promising, and looking at some language learning advice and resources and stuff. This is all also in aid of my crowdfunded translation project, and just to update you on the fundraising there, I am now up to $890 out of the $1,200 fundraising goal. Could really use the remainder of that ASAP to cover insurance and some other urgent expenses that I have to deal with. If you want to read the finished translations in the current projects, you can find those at the link I am about to drop in chat. Buonasera, definitely Hext. Buonasera. And if you would like to support the project with a donation, large or small, then here's where to go. So I thought, in order to get an introduction to Lingopie, and amongst other things find out whether I'm pronouncing it correctly, I thought we might just look at somebody else's review of it real quick. Might also give some ideas on places to focus as we look at it. This visit to Lingopie is courtesy of the fact that I saw this in a YouTube ad that showed up on a video I was watching while I was running, and it showed a still from a series my mother and I are watching, and it said learn French with Lingopie while watching TV, and I thought she is trying. She studied French quite a bit a long time ago, and she's finding as we watch more French television that she understands more and more, and the idea of some sort of version of on the show we were watching, adapted for language learners with like additional features to help comprehension and stuff, seemed really cool. Unfortunately, I could not actually find the show that I was specifically looking for and that was in the advertisement there, which I have to say kind of a strike against the platform, though maybe they used to have it and they just don't anymore. We'll see. How's everybody doing, chat? Good to see all of you. Hope your week has been reasonably decent. As I get the chat window where I can see it with the video on full screen. Okay. This is from Corinna Languages, a channel I'm not really familiar with. Hey, Ata! So we'll be getting introduced to Corinna Languages at the same time. Lingopie review and demo. A better alternative? Is Lingopie worth it for learning French? And I will say, we're on the free trial here at the moment, so we're going to have a look, and I'm not bad. I'm kind of happy.
So
I
welcome to
managed to do a little bit of rearranging, and now I am able to face more or less away from the window when it's bright while I'm streaming, which cuts down on the sort of migraine factor, which is nice. Other than that, it looks like there's going to be a Farsi translation of the Kalandai book I translated. Based on my translation, that looks like a thing that's going to be happening, which is kind of cool. The link I just dropped in chat is the link to the full video. It says, is Lingopie worth it for learning French? And we're about to find out. Yeah.
my honest Lingopie review. I'm
Okay, she's saying Lingopie too. Okay, so
currently learning French, and one thing that I absolutely love to do is watch Netflix shows with the French subtitles, but something that I really found is that I was just struggling a lot
from Melbourne, I think.
Only watching it with the French subtitles or only watching it with the English subtitles, because they don't directly translate all the time. And
yeah, and in fact, I mean, one of the things about subtitles that you notice is, obviously, they have character limits and things like that, and so they will often leave stuff out, sometimes rather important things, from the dialogue, which annoys the hell out of me, personally.
When a word would come up that I just had no idea what it was, I found it really frustrating. So the idea of having both subtitles coming up on the show at once really appealed to me.
Now, just so you know, in case you haven't heard of this already, there's something that will do this for Netflix called Language Reactor, which is free. I mean, there's like a paid version. I'm not sure what else you get with the paid version. Yeah, more subtitle options, I believe. But Language Reactor is really handy if you want to have bilingual subtitles, and it gives you a sort of a running log of the dialogue of the previous subtitles, so you can go back and see what somebody just said if you missed it. So that is just another option that exists for this sort of thing. And in a way, that's kind of what we're going to be comparing this to.
I usually watch my shows and I Chromecast them to my TV. That way it feels like I am also relaxing at the same time. And I have run into a few issues as well when using Lingopie. So I'm going to cover the good, the bad, some of the issues, and where they can...
Okay, we're going to skip ahead. We want to get just sort of a general overview. Okay, here's the sales page.
and learn with them. They're going to provide the subtitles for both, and you can watch thousands of hours of original TV shows, movies, music videos, and also Netflix originals. And they have this feature where while the show is watching, you can just click on these words and it's going to tell you the translation, and it's also going to add it to your word bank so that
which is similar to what Language Reactor does as well.
you can review these words later. Now this was really cool because before this, what I was doing is that I was watching Netflix. I would usually have the French subtitles on if I was feeling pretty motivated, and I would have to pause the TV show every single time I didn't understand something.
This is incidentally one of the nice things about Language Reactor, because if you hover over the current subtitle, it pauses for you. And you can just click on a subtitle to get back to it if you want to start from there again. Hey, Riveroon, how you doing?
And I would write down the word like on my phone, and then later on, I would add it to an Anki web.
Okay, so pricing. The lifetime subscription has definitely gone up since this video was made. It was like $227, I think. Language inflation. Okay, so
that you get with it. Inside Lingopie, what you do, you come over to the TV catalog, you can search for a title. So if I wanted to watch a Netflix show, I can search for Lupin, and I get these...
You get... Oh wait, you do get Lupin.
ones appearing.
Okay, interesting. I feel like I did not actually see that when I went to Lupin. I mean, when I went through the catalog yesterday. I'm gonna have to examine that a little bit further, clearly. So, what other stuff goes on? Oh, family business. So, yeah. See if there's anything else. I'm just skipping through this. Oh, okay, this is interesting. This is not something... Casting to TV and watching shows.
Easier, and it was also quite fun. On this blog article here, which is Lingopie's best features to enhance your language learning, one that I did find was casting. They've said that you can transfer your content directly to your TV via Chromecast and also AirPlay, and it's available in the mobile app. Now, I ran into issues with this just straight away. So I have an Apple iPhone, and that only actually seemed to offer AirPlay, a browser that asked them to the bench. I would a small window, much smaller, so it kind of condenses it to like 2/3 of the screen, which just makes it harder to watch. Again, a little bit less enjoyable, as well as you have the English and French subtitles at the bottom of the screen. If you try to remove the script that is just on the right hand side of the screen, it also removes.
And one little just tip when working with Netflix subtitles: if you're trying to get the subtitles in the actual original language and you want the subtitles to match what they're saying, look for the option that has CC in brackets. That is generally the one. Yes, exactly, Atta. That is exactly what I was about to say. I found that isn't 100% reliable. Like, I've watched Arabic things where I put on, like, Arabic CC, and it definitely is not saying the same thing in the subs that the people are saying in the dialogue. I'm not sure what's going on there, but...
moves one of the subtitles underneath the video, which wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. You know, I still just wanted to watch my TV. There's a way I personally can't complain, and it has quite a few more features. Actually, in saying this, there is a way to do it. It does work. However, I am now just going to share an alternative that...
Okay, I'm curious about this, too.
I've personally...
For one thing, I'm just sitting here wondering, because Language Reactor is really handy. And I've been wondering, like, on his smart TV, is there any way to actually make that happen? So maybe that's what she's about to talk about. We're going to find out anyway. Hello, SJC. Department of Transportation, Supreme Judicial Court.
Found has been working really, really well for me, and it's actually free as well, so I really can't complain, and it has quite a few more features. So the alternative I've been using...
Yes, welcome. Where are you joining us from, and how'd you find us, if you don't mind my asking?
Thing lately is called Language Reactor. It's another...
Oh, okay, Language Reactor. Okay, yeah, this is literally what I was just talking to you about.
Chrome extension, and so again, this isn't going to work like from your mobile phone, but I couldn't get that to work with Lingopie at all in terms of casting it to my TV. But Language Reactor, what I can do, add it to my Chrome extension, which is under, so that it's and you can also do things like you can slow down the tempo. That was another feature that...
Yeah, I mean... Okay, yeah, this is... What? Okay, if there's a way to make this actually work... Yeah, I will say... Language Reactor is not great for YouTube because there just aren't the same number of professional subtitles available. With Language Reactor, one of the really nice things is it will actually mark things as human translation, which means that somebody who is likely to know what the hell they're doing actually had a look.
On the mobile
and actually made the translations. Of course, I will say Netflix subtitles are criminally underpaid, considering the amount of money that their work brings into Netflix. But they're quite good.
That was pretty frustrating.
For the most
hit
part.
Play, and it would just scroll there for ages, and after a few minutes, nothing would happen, so I gave up. I don't know if you wait for however many minutes if it will finally load shows on your TV. Great, but really interest, and with the really, really short TV, and lots of people are happy with it, and I think...
Okay, so that is just sort of a general overview of what we're talking about. So now we are going to go there. I'm gonna go there. Okay. So, practice. Let's see. Okay, so I've decided to use, just for one of the, out of the languages that are available, I was going to take a look at some of the languages I actually am working on to some degree or other. Okay, so practice my vocab, my sentences, lessons. Okay, and they do have like live lessons with teachers as well, yeah, which is interesting. Obviously, we're not going to look at that at the moment, but we're going to see what there is. Okay, this is like, oh, okay, I'm looking at lessons, that's the problem. Okay. Quick tutorial, how does Lingopie work? Okay, so interactive
Hello,
study.
Lingopiers.
Okay, so it is Lingopie. It actually is. I had been leaving that open. They do want you to pronounce it that way. I don't know why they decided on that name, but I don't know, pie's nice.
This is Naomi, and in this video, I will show you how to use our interactive subtitles with instant translations. The interactive subtitles boost the language learning experience.
Yeah.
By providing...
Okay, so this interface looks a lot like, actually, the way that it works with Language Reactor, which is nice. I like it when user interfaces are somewhat standardized. I mean, the reason they aren't, it has a lot to do with intellectual property bullshit, and it makes life for users very difficult. But this is actually very similar to the Language Reactor interface, and that makes me happy, because I don't like to have to figure out one fucking user interface after another.
Customizable support for better comprehension of the shows you decide to watch. For this Spanish show, you will have subtitles in Spanish and in English. You can turn both subtitles on and off and customize your show experience in just 4 awesome ways. You can go for double subtitles in both the show's original language and in your language. You can keep it local with subtitles in your native language only. You can stick to the original language subtitles. And in case you are feeling adventurous, you can turn off both sets of subtitles and test your language
Oh, nice. Okay.
skills. This amazing feature is combined with Lingopie's instant translations. By using the instant translations, you will be able to find...
Oh, okay. And this is another thing. Actually, this is a lot. This is very similar to Language Reactor. Like, to the extent that I wonder, is it the same people who made both, and they're just, like, meant to be complementary?
Find out the meaning of the words that you are not familiar with instantly.
El casorio.
The translations are only 1 click away. Simply press on any word or term that you want to get the translation from, and as you see in this example...
Well, I had heard of Lingopie, but I've never actually tried it out. And since my mother got a free, on the free trial so that she can try it out for French and stuff, I'm taking advantage and turning it into content. But, okay. So, that's how that works. Okay, let's see. What is Grammar Coach?
I'm Naomi, and I'm excited to show you how to make the most of Lingopie's Grammar Coach.
Okay.
Lingopie's Instant Grammar Coach is essential for gaining deeper insights about the context of the subtitles. It's great for comprehension and contextual understanding.
Okay, let's see. So, let's see what that does. Okay, so that's just a button there. So we can try that out while we are looking here. I believe it's only a week. I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. So, what's this? Read out loud. Here, subtitle with a clear pronunciation. Okay. Loop on subtitles. Oh, with Pinyin. That's nice. Okay. So we're going to start at full speed. And let me see. So this... Okay, they don't call it Grammar Coach here as far as I can tell. Neat. Okay, so let's try this out. And let me know if I need to make any adjustments to the audio, of course. And also, let me just make sure I don't need to make any adjustments to the window that this is going on in. Yeah, my head is kind of in the way there. There, I will slide myself over. And here we go. Okay, this is a full-length episode, apparently, 40 minutes. I've never heard of this show, but we're going to find out things about it. I'm gonna just try this out. Okay, so here we go. Click on words in the Chinese subtitle, look up definitions, and more. Okay. Okay, so it's got some, like, tutorial thing attached. So, let's see how that works. Yeah, alright. 出现. 出现.
出现.
出现. Saiteki wo.
那个最适合他的人出现。我认识的刘静就是那种从小在班上像个童 透明人一样。
Okay, so let's see what explain does.
Invisible in class growing up. This means feeling like no one noticed you at all, as if you were invisible. 透明人 literally means transparent person, a common way to describe someone who is overlooked or ignored. It's used a lot to talk about feeling insignificant or unnoticed.
透明人。
毫不起眼的女孩。
Okay, now let's see. I'm gonna put it on beginner. I'm curious, like, does this screw up the pitch of the voices, or does this sound or make them sound drunk like you can do on YouTube if you put people on like 0.7 on like 75% speed? Or does it still sound good? Because sometimes you get distortion, which actually really gets in the way of exactly what you're trying to do, namely hear it better. Hello, Badger, how you doing? We are looking at Lingopie here. Wow, a Sony Discman. Haven't seen one of those in a bit.
成绩虽然不错，但也不拔尖。
长相不突出，但也没有人会说他丑。
Okay, that doesn't sound bad. That does not sound bad at all. Okay, that is the slowest speed, apparently. That is 0.65. Okay, now let's try this at advanced. This is 0.9, apparently.
他喜欢做一些不一样的事情，兴趣爱好也都和其他人不同。
给我也看看。哦，菜谱啊。
Okay. Let's see. Let's check out some other things here. And still looking in Chinese to see what we've got. There are some other languages I also want to check out and just kind of see what we've got. Simple conversations. So here we go. Let's see what simple conversations is like.
Ni hao. Ni hao.
Okay, I don't think we, for this, we'll put this at full speed. This is already slow.
您好。您好。
Okay, click on words. Yes, you already told me about that. I wish that X button wouldn't move along with everything else there. Because you actually, you actually do have to track your mouse cursor with the moving X button when you want to get that thing off of here. Okay, so this is very basic. Like, what is this? 2 minutes and 43 seconds.
你们好。你们好。
Okay, so that's what that looks like, which is to say, a little bit boring, to be honest. Okay. Well, what else have we got? Simple conversations, incidentally, is misspelled, Lingopie people. Might want to fix that. Welcome back, Ata. Okay, they have cooking shows. Okay, this is cool because one of the things people who've watched the stream for a little bit longer or have looked at my back catalog will know. One of the things that I like as comprehensible input for sort of upper beginner level I mean, although it depends really on the way it's done, is cookery videos. Because it's a how-to, it's generally compelling if the food is good and it's well, well cinematographed. And they're telling you what they're doing as they're doing it while showing you what they're doing, which is really good for the comprehension. So let's see. Okay, must-see food shows. Chinese Salty Taste Kitchen. China Once Upon a Bite. Chef Wang. Bread to Sunny. Okay, that sounds interesting. These are... a lot of this stuff is shorter as well. So, okay. 错位信手白
作为新手小白
Okay. So that is our full speed.
想学做面包，你一定要
Okay, so we're gonna stick that down to intermediate. Yeah, I mean there's some really good cookery channels in Chinese and Korean. Actually, one of my formative bits of Georgian input was a Georgian cookery show called Gurmania.
来看这。
Okay, stop! I'm trying to click the X button. Stop moving.
这个教程，我今天这个教程完全为新手设计，不用高筋粉，不用厨师机，也不用费劲的揉面，只需要掌握几个时间段和技巧，保证你手揉的面包一样渲染好吃。之前很多人问。
Okay, so gonna skip ahead. You see, this to me is the ideal version, is the ideal part for this. And I mean, this is kind of really, in this sense, I will say this is kind of perfect. Because getting the text, getting the bilingual subs, getting a way to like query the words as you go and stuff like that, and you have like this sort of how-to content. I mean, that's not bad at all. I will.
这个视频就够了，我用的就是这个雪花粉，你家里啊普通的面粉都可以。今天呢，我们在饭桌上揉，如果你怕桌板上揉呢比较容易翻车的话，你也可以准备一个大一点的揉面碗。那我们先把糖还有奶粉、中筋粉混合。
Okay. So, 筋粉
是先把干粉混合，你后边揉面就可以节省很多时间。把干粉再倒在台面上，然后中间挖一个大一点的坑啊。
Now, one thing I would say, just in terms of sort of visual design, is it would be better, even though it takes up more screen real estate, to actually have the full sentence in the subtitle. Because then you could get the entire context. It's easier to follow that way if you're doing this. Okay, so we have cookery content, and it is of the how-to style. Very handy in that regard. Chili's Journey, the story of chili peppers. One of the indispensable ingredients in winter. One of my indispensable ingredients year-round, actually. But okay, in winter, we'll go with the premise that there is times when you don't. 18 compound finals. Let's see what this is.
I A we I
Okay, so that's just like, okay, that's pronunciation stuff. Okay, that's cool. Good morning breakfast. The story of the tea. So, okay. So we're going to switch over now. And we're going to have a look. Let's see what we've got for, like, Greek. See how that looks. Oh, you can select for level. So we're going to say basic here. Just see what there is for basic. Practice mathematics with Lucky the Unicorn. Okay. We're going to practice mathematics with Lucky the Unicorn, apparently.
Lingopie TV!
Γεια σας παιδιά, είμαι ο Λάκης ο Μονόκερος. Αν
Μονόκερος.
σας αρέσουν τα βίντεο μου, κάντε like και εγγραφή στο κανάλι μου. Σήμερα θα μάθουμε να μετράμε μέχρι το 100, μετρώντας ανά 5.
Okay. Μετρώντας ανά 5.
Μετρώντας.
Μέχρι το 100, μετρώντας ανά 5. Okay, I believe that means like counting by fives.
Πάμε παιδιά, ας ξεκινήσουμε. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
Okay. So this is, we're looking at the really basic content, and it seems, okay, so that's a kid's math video. A lot of this basic stuff seems to be like, yes, kids programming. Yeah, let's see, summary Greek. But let's also say learn Greek syntax. We're going to see what that looks like.
Αν σας αρέσουν τα βιντεάκια και θέλετε κι άλλα, να κάνετε εγγραφή στο κανάλι, κάτω και δεξιά στην οθόνη, και να πατήσετε την καμπανούλα που έχει.
Okay. And it has the phonetics here as well, so for people who are still getting used to the writing system. Και να πατήσετε την καμπανούλα που έχει.
Για να σας έρχεται ειδοποίηση κάθε φορά που η κυρία Ράνια θα βρει χρόνο να ανεβάσει.
Yeah, I mean, especially for like learning languages, if you're really at the basic level, a lot of that stuff can be really handy. Like, I mean, one thing that has actually been quite useful for me in Georgian is there is a, on Georgian State TV and on the YouTube channel of Georgian State TV, there's Teleskola, which is like, television, like school classes, K-12 school classes, televised, and they have like the entire like K-12 curriculum, including Georgian as a second language for little kids. So like you have like an entire, in many ways, sort of graded set of content, much of it on subjects you already know more about than you're going to be hearing on the thing. So you have a point of reference you can work with. But it's going to be done in a very digestible way because it's assuming that the audience does not necessarily have a whole much of a vocabulary.
Ας ένα καινούργιο βιντεάκι. Γεια σας και πάλι. Επειδή είμαστε πολλοί νοικοκυρές και νοικοκύριδες, σήμερα θα βάλουμε σε τάξη τις λέξεις που είναι μέσα στις προτάσεις και τριγυρνάνε.
Okay. Also kids content, but in this case, this is interesting because it is grammar instruction, but it is grammar instruction in the target language with a lot of strong visual. I mean, so an interesting, it's like, so an interesting bit of input, I would have to say. So let's see what this looks
Θα
like.
μιλήσουμε λοιπόν για τη βασική σύνταξη.
So, θα μιλήσουμε λοιπόν για τη βασική σύνταξη. Okay.
Της πρότασης. Μου το ζήτησε ένα πολύ αγαπημένο μου λουλουδάκι. Για σένα λοιπόν. Κάθεσαν στην πρόταση.
Ποιος κάνει τι.
Έχει τη βασική δομή. Ποιος κάνει.
Okay. Oh, now I see. I was like, wait a second. Oh, yeah, no, of course. Pios kaniti. Who does what? Yeah, that makes sense. It's like, I was trying to reorganize that. Thought it was the first example of a, scrambled sentence. So, interesting. Actually, I mean, this, I will say, content-wise, there's some interesting... Okay, so this is the kind of stuff we get for basic. So, let's see what happens if I specify moderate. Okay, let's see. What is learn the language? And for anyone who's just joining us or stepped out for a second, we're looking at Greek right now. Γλώσσα.
Ομάδα, καλώς ήλθατε σε ένα ακόμη School for All. Γλώσσα για σήμερα και θα μιλήσουμε για τα μέρη του λόγου. Πάμε να ξεκινήσουμε. Κάθε λεξούλα που υπάρχει στην ελληνική γλώσσα ανήκει σε μία κατηγορία.
Okay. So again, just educational content in Greek. So, there's two levels that this is working on, which I actually like. Because on the one hand, you're learning the words for things you probably already know the words for in your starting, home language. And you're also seeing how they apply in Greek specifically. Ανήκει σε μία κατηγορία.
Οι κατηγορίες αυτές είναι 10 και ονομάζονται μέρη του λόγου. Τα μέρη του λόγου μπορούμε να τα χωρίσουμε σε δύο πολύ μεγάλες κατηγορίες με βάση το αν...
Άκλητα. Oh, interesting. So this is the funny thing about Greek to me. Because Greek is full of words for everyday things that are actually also sound like highly technical terminology in English. We have the terms clitic and aclitic in linguistics, but apparently they have them at just for basic discussion of grammar, whether they are declined or not. Yeah. Το αν κλείνονται.
Κλείνονται ή δεν κλείνονται. Έχουμε τα κλειτά τα οποία είναι 6 και τα ακλειτά τα οποία είναι 5. Τώρα αυτό το 6 και 5, 11 δικαιολογείται γιατί έχουμε τη μετοχή την οποία μπορούμε να τη δούμε και σαν κλειτή και σαν άκλητη.
Okay. So that's one example. Let's see what else we got though. Not just somebody explaining grammar to us. What's the deal with happy traveler? Let's see what this is. Sky παρουσιάζει. Oh, that's nice of them. I mean, so many subtitlers will leave out the subtitles for the lyrics to songs that are playing in the background. And that annoys the hell out of me. Oh, yeah, Anthropos. Έφαγα τον κόσμο όλο να σε βρω. Well, probably in your intestines then. Like, sweetie is glycol. Like glycol. Glucose. My glucose. I mean, and on the subject of Netflix and language reaction, let me just say one kids show that actually, I mean, although I know, it's one that actually seems to be popular with a lot of adults as well, that has tons of dubbing options on Netflix is The Babysitter's Club. There are lots of dubbing options that you don't find for a lot of shows. I mean, it's got like Finnish, it's got Arabic.
Άλλο ένα happy traveler ξεκινάει από τη Ρόδο αυτή τη φορά. Αλλά δεν θα μείνουμε στη Ρόδο σε αυτό το ταξίδι μας. Θα μπούμε σε αυτό το πλοίο και θα πάμε στο ακριτικό Καστελόριζο. Πάμε για happy traveler στο Καστελόριζο. Η Δωδεκάνησος Seaways είναι ακτοπλοϊκή εταιρεία με έδρα εδώ στη Ρόδο που ενώνει με...
Okay, so... Now let's see how this works in terms of just the interface, okay?
Ακτοπλοϊκή.
Ακτοπλοϊκή, ferry.
Εταιρεία.
Ακτοπλοϊκή εταιρεία. Yes, okay. So this is moderate. What else we got in the world of moderate? Cheers. Echoes of tradition. Open kitchen. Oh, open kitchen. Here we go. So lots of cookery content. It's like when they were selecting this stuff, they actually were kind of listening to me and decided to include a whole lot of this sort of how-to content because it is absolutely one of my favorites. Γλύκες σύγκαγες.
Είμαι πολύ χαρούμενη γιατί θα σας κάνω μια συνταγή που μου αρέσει πάρα πολύ και θα τη λατρέψετε. Ρολά κανέλας με...
Κανέλα! Lo mismo que en castellano, weón.
Πάτα και καφέ. Πλούσια γεύση, αφράτα, είναι πραγματικά ό,τι πρέπει για κολατσιό, ό,τι πρέπει για πρωινό.
Okay, skipping ahead, let's just see. Yeah, very pretty kitchen. I mean, a nice layout. We can see everything that's going on. I appreciate that in one of these, especially for language learning, but also just for like learning to cook things. Never seen that type of mixer.
Και η δεύτερη δόση.
Δεύτερη δόση.
Συνεχίζουμε φυσικά να δουλεύουμε το μείγμα.
Το μείγμα.
Συνεχίζουμε.
Συνεχίζουμε.
Oh, η συνέχεια. So, I know that from οι νύχτες του Αλέξη. I mean, that would be a great, that would be a great addition to this. Like, the music videos of Java Spa as a language learning tool. Okay, so George the Hungry Guys. You know, lots of food stuff. The Backpack. Super Top 10. Yeah, some of them are quite... I mean, that is one of the things also for... If you're watching this stuff for language learning content, is that some of the particularly the women presenters in these can be chirpy as hell, and it can actually make your ears bleed a little. Okay, so that's moderate. So, okay, let's see what happens if we go to expert. Makeup tutorial. Okay, so let's check this out.
Γεια σας! Στο σημερινό βίντεο θα δοκιμάσω ένα πολύ σταθερό μακιγιάζ παραλίας. Διστάζω να το αποκαλέσω αδιάβροχο.
Okay. And again, I like... So, διστάζω να το αποκαλέσω αδιάβροχο. Αδιάβροχο. So, that's waterproof. Oh, Badger, you have hit upon a thing that is one of the commonalities that exists between Finnish and Japanese, two utterly unrelated languages. They both have the same sort of fundamental timing unit. It's called a mora. Japanese and Finnish both do this, and the result is they have a similar rhythm.
Γιατί θα δούμε πώς θα πάει, ούτως ή άλλως εγώ έχω ξηρή επιδερμίδα και τα προϊόντα τείνουν να κάθονται αρκετές ώρες επάνω μου, αλλά θα κάνουμε ακροβούτι για πάρτι σας και το απόγευμα που θα γυρίσω στο σπίτι θα...
Yeah, because, I mean, Finnish also does the thing where basically every single syllable, like, for example, you have long and short vowels, and a short vowel is one amora, like memmi. But then a long vowel is, or a compound vowel is two mora. Kaupunki. Kaupunki means city. Or pa, which means head. Though you can put them together and make pa kaupunki. Pa kaupunki. And it means head, like literally head city or capital city. I mean, but so the rhythm is very similar in that regard, but it doesn't really do the whole pitch thing. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what they have for some other languages here. Let's see. How about Spanish? What kind of content have we got for Spanish? You can select countries. Neat. Okay. So level. Okay, so they have Chilean stuff apparently. So here we go. Let's see what we've got. So the universe within us.
New on Lingopie, short stories for learners at every level. Whether you're starting out or brushing up, this is for you.
Oh, skip. Okay, CONICIT, Ministerio de Educación. Okay. I have a friend in Chile called Isis. It was really complicated when ISIS started to become a thing. I used to occasionally go on Chilean community radio, and would like get asked to say like what I thought about some like current development or something like that. And I remember this one time, I was actually in Chile at the time, and my friend, the presenter of the show, was like, "So, what do you think about Isis and all that?" And I was like, "Oh, I just saw her the other day. We had a really good time." And it was like, "Oh shit, that's not what you meant. You meant you meant Daesh, not my friend in Valparaiso."
Mi pieza. Viva Santiago. Chile.
Okay, and like authentic pronunciation because it is an authentic program from the Chilean Ministry of Education. Hola, tio Audu. Boa noite. So, okay, cool. Let's see what we get if we put moderate on here. Tsunami Girl. Febrero de... Oh, el tsunami de Juan Fernández, weón. Me acuerdo.
Ese día había salido. Había estado con mis amigas, con mi amigo y nos sentamos a ver la luna porque...
Yeah, I mean, you can, and you can hear the really kind of typical Chilean things about the pronunciation here, which is really, I mean, that is a cool feature. I'm glad I was going to only look at, you know, languages that I would be thinking of using it to learn, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because this is neat. Like, that you have Annyeong Jaduya. I'm not familiar with that one. But so you can get used to, if you want to specifically learn, like, get used to, like, Chilean Spanish, you can hear the way she says, yeah, she does not say nos sentábamos, she says nos sentamos. Like, the B just goes away completely, and it just becomes two long A's. Nos sentamos a ver la luna. Okay, that prosody was actually very Mexican.
Todo muy oscuro, todo muy brilloso por la luna. Que me fui para la casa, mis papás estaban viendo el festival.
Oh, yes, do, please. I mean, and you get an idea. This is very colloquial narration, too. Okay, so, I mean, that's very cool, actually. It's time for a little a little bio break. And then I will be back in just a couple of minutes. Quick bio break, back in a few. Hi, and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. I am Elise, translator, editor, and writer with 20 working languages, and this is where we talk about languages and language learning and all sorts of other stuff, and we play games. This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time. And we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks. Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4. 還元1級の先というのは本当に
誰も知らない字ばっかりでしょうね。私は、
Okay, we've leveled up and it is time to pick another language. Mood för tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Benedese. Her beautiful day. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is skor, and that also means elephant.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Ça, c'est ça, che c'est ça, non ça, c'est ça. Sol chi sa che nulla sa, ne sa più di chi ne sa. Ecco.
Bienvenue à Hyper Polyglotting avec Élise. Moi, c'est Élise, traductrice, éditrice et écrivain avec 20 ans de travail. Et ça, c'est la transmission en direct ou en jeu des jeux. Surtout GeoGuessr en dernier temps. Et parle des langues, de la linguistique, de l'acquisition des langues. 10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Nej. Man. Igen. Ja. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Barbaz, okay, Barbaz is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon.
Sotto le frasche del capanno 4 gatti grossi stanno. Sotto 4 grossi sassi, 4 grossi e grassi gatti. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré des généraux dégénérés. Un généreux déjeuner régénéré des généraux dégénérés. Facile. Sì, ecco, la gente... è la cosa che mi dice la gente, sempre che scoprisce che quante lingue parlo. Io sempre avevo l'impressione, diciamo, di che non era così, non era tan così, ma poi dopo di aver visto qualche poliglota in YouTube, una delle cose che avevo scoperte era giustamente che la metodologia usata da quella gente poliglota che non avevo mai conosciuta prima, era più o meno la stessa metodologia che usavo io.
I buy a computer or what? And here's another example. I like to point these out. For this word for or sounds vaguely like Hogun and the Hok in Hogun in Korean or Waku in Japanese, and that appears it is the exact same kind of character.
Okay, let me see. Un chasseur, ça chante chasser. Ses chassés sont son chien de chasse. Der dicke Dach. Okay, der dicke Dachdecker deckt dir dein Dach, drum dank dem dicken Dachdecker, dass der dicke Dachdecker dir dein Dach deckt. Hola y bienvenidos al directo de Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. Yo soy Elisa, traductora, escritora y editora y comunicadora social con más de 20 idiomas de trabajo. Y aquí vamos a estar jugando videojuegos, sobre todo GeoGuessr, y hablando de idioma, la mejor forma de aprenderlo y caleta más. Zwei Zwetschgenzweigen zwitscherten zwei tschechische Schwalben. Tres tristes tigres tragaban trigo en un trigal en tres tristes trastos.
Oh, I see. This is Diche Ishai Fui, which means do you want food? But
And I'm back. Okay, we've been, for anyone who's just joining us or stepped out, we've been looking at Lingopie and what all you can do with it. So just gonna keep on. We're gonna just continue with that and just have a look at what else you have. Let me see. Chile Expert Creative Home Projects. Let's see what this looks like.
Hola, hola. Para hoy día tenemos un pedido especial en este espacio del patio que mide 4 por 2 metros. Antiguamente había pasto, pero los dueños de casa se aburrieron del riego y la mantención. Así que decidimos hacer un jardín japonés.
Okay, so home improvement stuff. Neat. Okay, this is actually a promotional video from like Chile's version of like Home Depot, essentially. Sodima. Okay, so let's see what we got in other countries. We got lots of options here. See, neutral, which is not a thing really. Okay, let's see. Okay, how about Bolivia? Well, let's see what we got for Bolivia. Okay, not much for Bolivia. Okay, so Argentina. Basic. Não depende realmente da língua, mas bem do conteúdo. Mas posso dizer que é mais fácil encontrar conteúdo no espanhol, no alemão, nas grandes línguas. Bom conteúdo também no japonês. And okay, so that is okay. So Spanish. Ooh, okay. So Portuguese, and we've got country also. Oh, hey, neat. Oh, we have multiple options here. Okay, so let's see what we've got. We're gonna put in Brazil, basic Brazil. Em chinês, muitíssimos conteúdos no chinês. Okay, let's see what we've got.
Coisa tipo, uau! Vejo as estrelas, peraí. Não consigo imaginar um russo bebendo isso. Oi, gente, tudo bom com vocês? Meu nome é Olga e sou russinha que estuda português.
and pronounces it quite nice. Okay, so this is very specialized, because it's like, if you want to learn how to speak Portuguese with a slight Russian accent. But okay.
Eu estou com medo. Eu recebi presente na minha caixa postal do Belém do Pará dos meus seguidores. Cachaça de jambu.
Okay. I mean, I have to say, I'm kind of charmed by her. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so this is Explorando Minas Gerais.
Visitar e conhecer. A região do Vale do Pedaço, há milhares de anos atrás, abrigou populações humanas também, antes da chegada dos europeus aqui na América. E essas populações deixaram registros, vestígios, inclusive pinturas rupestres.
Okay, so we're looking at the basic level here. Yeah, Olga seems charming. Encantadora. Okay, so we're checking out basic. Level, let's see, what do we got from moderate? Okay, what is this? Okay.
Tem alguma coisa errada. Cadê as tartarugas? Nem um míssil saindo do castelo.
Você não viu o Bowser caindo na lava?
Eu não sei, foi muito rápido.
Mario, você tá surtando.
Okay. I mean, some interesting stuff here. Oh, you can watch a video about Chile in Brazilian Portuguese. Vale de Malte. Okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna start watching Olga the Russian Girl. I'd never heard of her. I don't really watch any Brazilian content. Okay. But that's kind of cool. Okay, so country. Okay, let's see what's Angola. What we got for Angola here. Not a whole lot. But let's see, we got, apparently there are 2 videos for Angola. Which, I have to say, what are the coolest flags out there? I mean, the Welsh flag beats them all because it has a big old red dragon in the middle of it, but the Angolan one is nice.
ter. Agora terminou a faculdade, mas se eu ficar no quarto, fala ainda com ele. Você que te
Oh yeah, true enough,
Isso é
Otto.
delicado em um trabalho. É uma fase de concentração e de compreensão. Isso já vai passar, mãe.
Interesting, the accent is interesting. Because it's like halfway between Brazil and Portugal a little bit. But okay, so let's see what we got for Portugal. Level basic. Walking tour of Porto.
Portugal é um pequeno país situado no extremo mais a sul da Europa, onde 943 km compõem a sua costa. O Porto situa-se no norte do país e, por ser uma cidade costeira, o som de gaivotas voa pelos ares.
Okay. So that's Portuguese. Neat. So, let's see what we got for Russian. Okay, so basic. Профессор Почемушкин.
Теремок ТВ представляет.
Интересно, почему рыбы не разговаривают? Многие из вас слышали выражение «нем как рыба». И действительно.
Wait a second, how did they translate Nyam?
Слышали.
Многие.
Oh, not well. They did not translate the expression well. Nyam means mute, not German. That's Niemiecki. Niemiec. Not German like a fish.
Из вас слышали выражение «нем как рыба».
German like a fish.
Люди никогда не слышали, чтобы рыбы издавали какие-то звуки. Но так ли молчаливы рыбы на самом деле? Ученые много лет изучали поведение рыб и пришли к выводу, что рыбы вовсе не молчат.
Okay. This is some examples of like the basic Russian stuff. So what else have we got? Ramanskим Garu.
Романцевские горы. Романцевские горы или Кондуки – природно-антропогенный рекреационный комплекс в Тульской области.
I'm speeding this. I want to see what it is at like top maximum speed here. One. Because also, I mean, I see why it's basic because it's not a whole lot of text at a time. But let's see, level. Let's try moderate and take basic out. So okay, here we go. Shift shadow off. Lots of chilies. 500 soups. Okay.
Всем привет! Сегодня мы готовим хинкали.
Oh, Georgian!
Сегодня непростой день, сегодня день рождения нашей мамы. Но так как праздновать нам уже как-то с детьми интереснее, естественно, мы решили сделать праздничное блюдо такое. Торт у нас уже стоит, цветы здесь. Все на месте.
That's okay. Wait, that isn't hinkali. Isn't the soup? What am I thinking? Hinkali is dumplings. So why is this 500 soups if it's hinkali? That's Georgian mandu. They even look like mandu.
Это моя доченька Алисия. Это ее подружка и одноклассница Алиса. И одноклассник и дружок Саша.
Okay. Well, have a good rest of your evening then. I hope to see you tonight, and if not, maybe tomorrow.
Что нам нужно для приготовления хинкали? Давайте перечислять.
Я так поняла.
Okay. Level expert. What have we got now? Napoleon in Russia. So a song, a show about Napoleon getting his ass kicked. And this is a full-length drama as well.
Сохраняло свое лидерство в мире. Узкая полоска вод Ла-Манша и поражения на море удерживали Наполеона от прямых военных ударов по острову. Он планировал сломить Британию, лишив ее колоний, и в первую очередь Индии. Один из путей в Южную Азию лежал через Россию. Однако это ли было первопричиной военной кампании против России? Формального объявления войны не было. Наполеон скрывал свои намерения даже от собственного сената. И лишь накануне переправы солдатам прочли воззвание императора.
Okay. Interesting. The Romanovs. That one ends well. Fuck you, Innocentius. Okay. I'm just kind of curious here. Твою мать, Иннокентий.
Чувак, стой, меня подожди.
Чего?
Меня подожди, говорю, один, не прыгай.
Я что-то не понял. Девушка, вы тоже вниз хотите?
Не, я не хочу. Я перед Буддой за тебя краснеть не хочу. Моя же вина будет.
Я не понял, каким буду. Ради бога, вы могли бы 2 минутки мне оставить и уйти? Хорошо, будет совершенно ни при чем.
Okay. Interesting array of content. So my initial impression, just looking at all this of Lingopie, is it seems like it's actually potentially quite useful. Not, if as far as things that you're going to pay, that you're paying for, I mean, not bad. I think that it seems like, depending on what language it seems rather variable what kind of array of content you have, but there seems to be a pretty good selection. I appreciate that different countries are represented and can be called up separately for Spanish and for Portuguese as well. That is very handy because there's a lot of linguistic diversity within those languages. The user interface is pretty intuitive. So yeah, I mean, seems like not a bad tool. So we're gonna switch over. I had a request in my YouTube comments, a place where people can leave requests if they ever have one, to check out. Evil Dia has had opinions again. He should not do this, because his opinions are often not very good. But okay, so he's decided to have a go at Steve Kaufman. I have my issues with Steve Kaufman that have absolutely nothing to do with him knowing what he's talking about when it comes to language. When it comes to that, I would say he definitely knows a lot more about it than Evil Dia does. So this will be interesting, because this is another episode of that lovely romantic series when Dunning meets Kruger.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a react to a video from Steve Kaufman. Why massive input beats flashcards every time? So this...
Okay.
This one was recommended to me in the Discord, and of course...
this was recommended to me by Iskroy in the comments to one of my videos, and so we're doing it.
It's input versus flashcards. This is a war that has been going on since the dawn of time, so let's see what he's got to say, because he's obviously picking a side. Now, normally I don't watch...
yes, he's very... do you think that... are you unfamiliar with him? Because he has been very clearly an advocate of input-based methods for a very long time, actually. I mean, I don't know very long, but certainly a number of years. So this isn't like a new thing that he would be saying that rote memorization using flashcards isn't as good as input, which... It's worth noting it isn't just him saying it. There's a lot of research behind it. I'm sure he's going to tell us about that too.
Steve videos. Normally I don't watch videos from him just because, well, if you look up in the top left-hand corner, they're all just to promote his product. But it looks like he's picking a side in this epic war that's been going on forever, so let's hear what he's got to say.
Today I want to talk about flashcards.
Bro, is it just me, or has he got cataracts? Like, I can see his right pupil, but his left pupil's really milky looking. But now I can't unsee it. Now I can't unsee it. Maybe it's just me. Like, this is not even...
There was a famous educator called John Amos Comenius who developed a form of flashcard for, connecting words to pictures to be used in education.
Interesting.
John Stuart Mill apparently used flashcards to learn Greek, with the word, the Greek word on one side and the English word on the other. And then the flashcards...
So we're getting a history of flashcards. That's interesting. But, I mean... But that's not what we're here for.
An item, a word, or whatever it might be. One should ideally meet that again and again. And he developed this ideal frequency to relearn something before we forget it. And in 1972, a German called Leitner wrote a book called So lernt man lernen.
For the linguists down in the comment section, let me know. We all see this. Let me just bring it up again.
A German called Leitner wrote a book called So lernt man this ideal frequency.
Okay, so we've all seen this before. This graph. Okay, this is what Anki is based on. Has there been any recent research on this forgetting curve? Or are we still basing all our research on something that's over 100 years old or whatnot? Like, I'm kind of curious.
I mean, I imagine there has been.
I want to know, because I actually learn a lot from the linguists in my community, okay? Because they always comment down below and they give me the newest goss, and I don't have to go read it. Like, I don't have to go read the article, so I'm actually kind of curious.
Well, it'd be good if you actually did read the article some of the time, Evil Dia, just like a little bit, because you would know more about what you're talking about, and that would be better. I mean, so maybe read the articles.
If this has... Like, if this is still current science.
To relearn something before we forget it.
I mean, the idea that spaced repetition is useful for learning and for, retaining information. I mean, that's certainly well established. I mean, I haven't heard anyone calling the overall principle into question. I imagine there's probably been research like on what the ideal number of repetitions in the space and stuff like that are, but like the general principle certainly.
And in 1972, a German called Leitner wrote a book called So lernt man lernen, describing how, you know, learning was like a filing cabinet. And I remember reading the book and I thought it was very interesting, and it introduced again this idea of spaced repetition according to a certain formula. And this was then taken further.
And it's worth noting, I mean, I imagine he might get into this, but I mean, spaced repetition can happen in a number of methods. That is not just a flashcard thing. That isn't just like a rote vocabulary memorization thing. Like, if you look at some of those videos, I mean, that's a very input-based sort of learning aid that we were just looking at with Lingopie. And spaced repetition could come up in input, too. Because you get the same expression, you get the same term or the same structure being used over and over again at certain intervals. Not necessarily at determined intervals, just determined by the nature of, you know, what the content is. But spaced repetition is something you can find in a lot of places. It is very much not just, you know, an Anki flashcard thing.
In the late, you know, the 1990s with...
I'm going to have to speed him up. The speed it's not working for me, guys.
Algorithms and Wozniak of Super Memo and Anki and so forth. So it's very much a mainstream...
That is old Windows. Look at that font. Look at the DPI on that thing.
Mainstream part of language learning. But another mainstream part of language learning is compelling input, massive input. And I want to look at these two based on my recent discovery of the thoughts of Geoffrey Hinton, godfather of AI, and how, when he explains how we learn. And the fact is that we learn through developing ever-expanding, ever-richer networks of experience that contribute to what we understand, what we learn, and in the case of language, what we were able to.
He was about to shake his head, and then he just sort of turned it into a nod. That, I think, you know, nice to see Evil Dia, like, bite his tongue for a second and maybe wait to see whether what somebody's saying before necessarily immediately going in and saying, no, this is totally wrong.
Produce in the language. So one problem with flashcards and spaced repetition, which is a refinement of flashcards, is that their focus is on sort of tying one item to one item, rather than on developing ever-expanding networks of...
Yeah, actually, this reminds me of one kind of criticism I had. I couldn't actually show you this, because there doesn't seem to be a way to get back to it on Lingopie. Maybe there is, and I just couldn't find it. But like when you first set up your account and you select your language, it will give you some sort of it'll give you a sort of test to gauge what level you're at. And it is very much matching 1-to-1. And the trouble is, at least in the French version, which first of all, it's decontextualized. Like my mother was taking it, and it was just like, here's these words, and here's, 4 words and 12 possible translations matched word to word. And the thing is, of course, that's words out of context is the first problem. And so I gave her French sentences. I would just say, prenez garde au chien for garde or something like that. And the minute I did that, she actually got them immediately, but when she was actually struggling when they were contextless. But the trouble is, like, every single word that they had in the French one was something you could translate in 15 different ways, depending on the context, and there was no context. And often the option they had that was the correct answer was not the most intuitive way that you would translate it if you got it, apropos of nothing.
Steve, my man, you realize this is not how people just use flashcards, and in fact, this is not even. I don't see anyone who promotes the use of, let's say, Anki or flashcards in this modern day and age actually promoting one-to-one pairings.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's still the same thing, even if you add a couple of the pairings, because it isn't creating a network. Yeah. I mean, he just admitted to it yet again. He's like, I appreciate the linguists in my comments because they will tell me things and then I don't have to read the article. It's like, no, read the article. Like, learn something. Read the abstract at least.
Like, this is not what we do. Like, if you watch my videos, you'll never see me promoting a one-to-one pairing. And I talk about often why you should not do that in the language space. And
yeah, but that's still not the same thing as the kind of rich web of connections that you can get. To use the term that's right up on the screen in front of me, I wouldn't really normally use that phrase, but and not that I have anything, any objection to it. It's just not the way I talk. But it's not the same thing as a highly contextual, input-based approach. Even if you include, which you can include space repetition in various ways, including inherently within the input. But it's just not the same thing. Even if it's a little more, a one to more than one. Yeah, exactly. He could have looked that up then. He could have looked that up in advance of this.
in fact, you could apply that to pretty much any space. So I think this is a you problem, if this is how you think flashcards are being used. Because this is not what I recommend. In fact, like flashcards nowadays, a lot of people will use either audio flashcards, which include the word that they want to focus on in context, in a sentence.
Yeah, but it's like, that's one piece of context. That's one context, one sentence. Or, like, it isn't the same thing as encountering the word in a naturally occurring context. That is what he's getting at here. It's still not the same thing.
They can hear it in context, or they'll use closed deletions so they can actually try and figure out what the word that is missing based on the context. We always include...
Yeah, but it's still, that's just a context.
Context. So this is just...
I mean, yeah, but it's like this, he does not understand what the issue is. He should watch a little bit longer and then respond, maybe.
This is a misrepresentation of how to actually use flashcards. And it sounds like it's based on those guys from over 100 years ago. I know you're old, my man, but come on, we've moved beyond that point.
Knowledge and of experience. So a flashcard is kind of an artificial...
Wait, that's it? That's...
No, it isn't. You cut him off in the middle of the fucking sentence. Like, maybe let him finish the sentence and then find out what it is. It lets him get two words out. That's it? No, the sentence wasn't over, my man.
That was the entire reason why... Okay, there must be more...
No, it wasn't the entire reason. You literally cut him off at the very beginning of a sentence.
No.
Official retrieval experience. An isolated retrieval experience.
It's...
That it is still an isolated retrieval experience, even if you have one single piece of context. Fucking Evil Dia putting head in hands. He has no purchase in the head in hands universe. He inspires head in hands. He does not get to perform it.
Steve, my man, what are you doing? No. I can't believe this is coming from a place of honesty. No one uses flashcards like this.
He does not understand the critique is what's going on here.
Try to remember this one thing. It's like, again, Leitner's filing cabinet. What it is you're trying to remember is located in...
Based on a filing cabinet model. Treats memory as storage and retrieval, but that's not how the...
Yeah, I mean, see, exactly, this is the issue here. It isn't about storage and retrieval. Maybe actually let him finish a little bit and then explain. Because all of this goes together. He's not just saying this is the one thing and it's totally in isolation. He's building...
Oh my god. Okay. A good use of flashcards basically takes input. And in fact, it doesn't even have to be input. You could do input, you could...
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, by definition it takes input. If I put the word koshka on a flashcard, that word is input, because literally all words are input. But it's not the same thing.
Do output, you can do everything with flashcards, okay. But I guess the problem is the idea of a flashcard and what we remember from, like, primary school when you just...
And maybe the problem is what he's saying the problem is. Like, that it is about storage and retrieval, that you're just memorizing things, and that those things are, even if you, like, use them in a sentence, they're still decontextualized. They're still being presented in isolation. That sentence is still isolated.
Do those little paper cards, okay? But
is that the one where he drew an ass?
Point of a flashcard is to give you focused CI, comprehend.
That is not, like, he doesn't know what CI is. He literally still does not know what CI is.
Sensible input with one component missing and the remaining components you all understand.
That's literally not the thing. That's literally not the thing, though. Maybe if you actually read the articles, you would understand why that isn't the thing.
Help train your brain in a focused manner upon whatever word or structure you're trying to learn, okay?
Yes, but again, you're just memorizing the thing. You're just trying to store and retrieve it with spaced repetition.
Okay? It basically takes a whole heap of input and just focuses in on a certain section of that input. That's what you should do. Like, just go watch any of my Anki videos on this channel. I've made multiple different ones. I've even made my own programs before. Like, this is just a misrepresentation of flashcards.
In a particular place in your filing cabinet. And as Hinton explains, we don't learn that way. We don't go to a specific location. Every exposure to a range of information is an opportunity to enrich our connection. We weight certain things.
Like, okay, I live eternally in hope that he's going to actually listen to this and understand why he's not understanding this. And maybe actually understand what the criticism is, because he so far is not getting it.
Why are we doing input versus flashcards, really?
Because those are two different things. It is like the entire premise of the approach is different. And if you knew anything about this, Evil Dia, you would know this. Because the premise is memorization. You're trying to remember bits of information. That's what flashcards are about. And the idea is, with spaced repetition in the flashcard context, you are trying to increase your ability to retrieve the information that you are trying to remember. That is a completely different idea than what you're doing when you're taking an input-based approach. That is not about memorizing.
Because you should be doing both. Like, you should be doing, like, okay, I gotta be careful with my words here.
Wow, that would be a change.
If you're going to do this in the most optimal...
I mean, what gets me about this is the way he responds the exact way. And let me again say, I have a lot of beef with Steve Kaufman, not to do with his takes on language, to do with, like, the shitty things he says on Twitter. So, like, certainly not a ride or die Kaufman stan, but I am aware that the man knows what he's talking about. I've seen enough of his work to know he knows what he's talking about when it comes to this stuff. He is much more engaged with the research than Evil Dia ever has been, in part because Steve Kaufman reads things.
Way possible, and it works for you, then doing both is the smart thing to do, okay? Because if you do the flashcards, it allows you to get words into your noggin as fast as possible.
Like,
and then the input basically cements it and helps you understand all the various different ways those words are used. So one helps to get in, and the other reinforces it.
Like, he really does not understand what he's responding to at all. And he does not actually wait long enough to get enough information to even know what he's answering here.
That's the whole point behind flashcards.
WEIGHT, we put more weight on different aspects of what we're learning, and out of that becomes a richer and richer sense of...
Isn't like, I've never really used Lingopie, but isn't flashcards like a part of it?
No, I mean, it is actually, like, you read things in context.
Like, isn't there a whole section for it that's like flashcards? Like what?
I don't think so. I had a look over it a long time ago. Haven't really gone back to it because I just find there's more interesting input elsewhere. But I don't believe that is actually...
Why are we creating this straw man right now?
I mean, I don't know why you are creating this straw man.
Of network of web of connections that enables us to learn. So the question becomes, do we want to have this specific association with a specific word and its meaning, or do we want to expand this network? Do we want to develop our...
See, and this is the difference. Because the thing is, even when you're putting the word in context, the idea is you are memorizing the word and a meaning of that word in a context in which that word can be used.
Natural ability to recognize patterns, and it's the latter that...
You can even do the whole pattern recognition thing. I often do. Like, I don't create just one flashcard per word, and like just one word in context, okay?
And like, okay, let's just assume for a moment, I don't know if it's true, but if Steve Kaufman, if Lingopie also has some sort of a flashcard function for whatever reason, I'm not saying it does, I'm not sure if it does. I mean, it would be easy enough to determine, but it doesn't matter for these purposes. But assuming that that's the case, then accusing him of dishonesty makes even less sense, because very clearly he does not have a horse in the race. Because if Lingopie also has some sort of a flashcard-like function, then you can go to Lingopie and still do flashcards, so he has no reason to be misrepresenting it.
I generally create a minimum of 6. That way I can cover all the main different types of, let's say, templates that might appear in. The most common ones, okay? So again, you don't have to just do one. You could do as many as you can.
It's like, the thing is, the critique still applies. If you actually understand what the critique is and what the different approach is, the number of flashcards, you know, you could have 100 flashcards related to different contexts in which a word appears and has different shadings of meaning. The critique is the same, actually.
60 flash...
Oh, it does have built-in flashcards? So, like, literally, there is no reason to be accusing Steve Kaufman of being dishonest about flashcards then, because he has no fucking interest in discouraging, like, he doesn't have a financial interest in discouraging people using them, because they can use them on the platform that he gets paid for.
Cards for one verb in all its different possible contexts, if you want. And then that allows you to focus in on all those different...
See, again, and here's the other problem, is that you're assuming that you can actually know a priori all the possible contexts. That you're going to be able to do that in advance as somebody who is not a native speaker of the language. Like, even as someone who is a native speaker of the language, that would be extremely challenging, especially with some words that have a million different contexts that they can be used in, each with somewhat different meanings. So, like, this... I mean, he does not understand. He's never understood exactly what the deal with input is. And because he's never understood what the deal of input is, he is just not able to even formulate a sensible critique of any input-based method, of which he only knows one, which is ALG. Specifically, ALG as practiced by Dreaming Spanish.
Context. Rather than just trying to consume hundreds of hours of input or read, book after book to try and figure it out in all its different contexts.
It's actually...
That is okay. And again, the way what he just said there, consuming input in order to figure out all the different contexts, already tells you like how much he does not understand what he's talking about. Because the point of the input is you aren't like coming up with a million pieces of input for the word, I don't know, recoger. You know, to find out all the different contexts. The point is that you have a piece of input. That input is about something. And in that context, words are used. And you begin to get to know those words by seeing what they do when they're at work. Or at home, I mean, either one. You know, you see what it does because it's in a context. And then another day you find it in another context. It's like he seems to think that everything comes down to memorization, and it's like, and so for him, input-based methods are just bad memorization, inefficient memorization because it's got all of this extraneous data, and flashcards are efficient memorization because it removes all the extraneous data. He literally does not comprehend what he's responding to here.
More effective, based on Hinton's analysis and based on my experience. So, according to Hinton's understanding of how we learn, the retrieval of a flashcard item is a different cognitive activity than
Okay, see, here we go. This is actually explaining... this is the thing that Evil Dia needs to understand in order to be able to meaningfully even participate in this conversation. Like, there are people who are like who are having this conversation and who are doing it in a way, in an informed way, where you can critique the strengths and weaknesses of different methods and stuff like that because they understand the underlying idea. Now, this is, I think, possibly the first time that I've seen Evil Dia be confronted with the underlying idea here. From a cognitive perspective, the retrieval of items is totally different from exposing oneself to a variety of content. It's the difference between cramming a bunch of stuff for a pub quiz on a particular subject and then reading extensively about that subject to gain a working knowledge. Like, you can know a whole lot of like facts about, I don't know, about English cricket, let's say. You know, who won the Ashes in every single year? Who had the batting record, like who was the high scorer for England in the 1960s? You know, the best English spin bowlers or something like that. And you can come up with it in a pub quiz, and you will win that pub quiz, and you will get that 200-pound bar tab, and everybody will be very happy to know you because you got that 200-pound bar tab, and everybody's got free drinks for a little bit. And maybe they'll be happy to know you just inherently as well, but they'll be especially happy to know the person with that will be an additional reason that they will be happy to know you. Let me put it that way. But that doesn't mean that you could actually coach the England side to victory or like the closest that English cricketers get to it. That doesn't mean you have a deep understanding of how cricket works. That means you know things about the history of English cricket. It doesn't even mean that you could necessarily provide a useful analysis of the history of English cricket. Because that is a completely separate thing. He does not understand.
Exposing oneself to a variety of content with different people, different emotional connection, different lexical or
yeah, the emotional connections, for example, are really important. That is a big part of it because we don't just have words that we have any use for. We connect more than just like some sort of raw dictionary meaning. You know, they mean something to us. There is a personal connection because of there's like an emotional context to it. And all sorts of other stuff.
All of which is enriching your ability to understand the material. So rather than memorizing pairs or rules, you're expanding your sense of...
What is this memorizing pairs or rules? What's that got related to?
Well, it's related to the underlying idea of flashcards, which is that you have thing and thing it's associated with, and you're trying to memorize those associations.
Okay, isolated from context, no rhythm, intonation, emotion, or grammatical patterns, just a bare pair.
And, oh, now he's gonna be like, no, it doesn't have to be a pair. Sometimes it can be a triad. Sometimes you're memorizing two whole meanings for a thing using a flashcard.
No, this is not correct. Oh my god, I'll give you guys a quick example.
Okay, here we go. Let's see if this example actually addresses the critique at all.
Okay, so as you can see, I've got 3 different decks going at the moment, and every time I probably show Anki in my videos, it looks a bit different because I like to play around with it and try out different things and different ideas. But as you can see, I've got a listen deck, a production deck, and a reading deck, okay?
Okay.
So if we just go to the listen, so like I got to arrive in 15 minutes, when will you leave?
Okay, I need to just move this window so that I can actually see what he's doing with this. Mouse cursor, where have you gone?
You know, okay.
Okay, so here we go. Front is a sound. Back is, I can't eat eggs. I'm allergic to eggs. Like, literally, these are pairs. That's what he's talking about. That's a pair. You're pairing a sound to a meaning there. That's what he means by pairs. These are literally pairs.
So I can't eat the eggs, I'm allergic to eggs, okay? And then I can't eat the shrimp, I'm allergic to shrimp.
These are pairs. And also, this is so fucking boring.
I can't eat the peanuts, I'm allergic to peanuts. I can't eat the fish, I'm allergic to fish, okay? Do you see the commonality between these sentences?
Yes! Apart from the... Yes! Like, this... This is literally what Kaufman's talking about here. Each of these is just a pair. It's completely sterile. It's completely devoid of any kind of context. Beyond just the bare sentence context. You're just memorizing pairings of sounds and English meanings.
I'm just swapping out the noun, but they're in context.
Like the least possible amount of context you could have. The absolute bare minimum to say that there is context.
Okay, so these words here, I'm not just learning eggs by itself, and on the front I've just got audio. Okay, now if we...
Yeah, like, okay, he has just literally proved the point. Like, how is he going to try to make this different? Because those are pairs.
The other decks, so if I go to my production deck...
Okay. I need to upload this application. I need to upload this application to Google. Can you upload this application to Google? I just uploaded the application. I uploaded the application. I'm uploading this application. I'm now going to upload this application. I'm going to upload this application. Wow. Wow. Wow, the context, it's so rich.
Probably got some similar sentences in here somewhere as well, okay. As you can see, I've been trying...
Let's look at one of these cards. Let's see what the front and back are. Let's see if you are refuting the idea that these are sterile, isolated pairs. Because I don't think you are actually, Evil Dia.
Out some stuff in here. These decks are pretty new. Where is it? Okay. Well, I've got the same type of stuff in here, okay? The production deck. And then if I go into the reading deck, I got the same type of shit in here as well. okay? And this takes me 20 minutes to go through all this, and I do 30 cards a day, okay?
Okay, but those are pairs. Do you not know what a pair is?
And I'm just playing around with a new idea at the moment. I literally just set this up maybe about a week ago, I think. But no matter whenever I've showed Anki on this channel, flashcards, okay, every time I've shown Anki on this channel, I've always shown how to learn things in context. It's never just individual words.
Oh yeah, but you're just memorizing individual phrases. That's...
You can probably claim, okay, if I go into here, and I go back to some of those beginning ones, every second Sunday, maybe you can claim that is an individual word, but it's...
I mean, the point is not that it's an individual word. The critique is the same if it's an individual phrase. Notice the word is a pairing. What you're saying is that sound :01687.mp3 means every second Sunday.
Not, because that's actually made up of several different components. I'm actually...
Like, individual words are often made up of several different components too. This is not the point. It is not the number of components that's the issue.
Actually learning a chunk there. So, it's like...
He's memorizing a chunk. It's a chunk pair. It's a pair of chunks. It's a chunky pair. This pair, it is a chunky boy. It's the same issue. It is literally the same critique. He does not understand it.
Not just a one-to-one. This is me hearing it in context, and then we've got, and as I said, that's a chunk, even though in English it's 3 separate words, and Chinese would be kind of one. So...
Well, I mean, because Chinese, like Japanese, and a number of other languages, does not space between words, and they're both there, and it's agglutinative, which means that you can kind of, it's often not entirely clear where a word starts and a word ends. There are ways you can debate about that, which is why translators charge for the character in those cases.
We've got, I'm hearing it, I'm producing it, and then I'm reading it.
Yes, but in all cases, it's just pairings. That's what he's saying.
So 3 different areas I'm trying to cover off on there. Okay. So this one-to-one pairing thing is just not true.
Like, where's Uncle Roger to take his leg down from the chair? Like, does he think that the fundamental point changes if you say that it's more than one word paired with more than one word? So it's a different thing, like, let's say, so if I'm doing it from Finnish to Hungarian, talossa even, that is one word each. It's one word to one word. So the critique is valid there. But if I do it from Spanish to German, en la casa, im house, then it's 3 words to 2 words and the critique is not valid. I mean, Elmo sort of is a picture of a pear with a face. So you got that. Yeah, like he thinks the issue is the number of words involved, apparently.
And I also create multiple cards per thing. Then we've got no rhythm, intonation, emotional, grammatical patterns. Well, if you're just reading, you're not going to have intonation.
Yeah, you are.
Or rhythm, really.
Yeah, you are.
Anyway, that's why I've got the audio deck, so I can actually hear those spoken out. And
yeah, but you... Like, just, he's having this is amazing, because he's having it explained to him with little to no actual reading required, and he's still managing to miss the point.
It's generated by AI voice. The AI voice is really accurate, by the way.
Well, it depends on what you mean by accurate.
Depending on the language. For Chinese, it's very accurate. Okay, and grammatical patterns, as you saw, I had a pattern. Okay, so the pattern for being allergic. So none of this is true.
You've provided examples that actually that confirm exactly what he's saying here.
The rhythm, the intonation, the range of meaning of words, it's a much more complex, expanding connection with the language, which the sort of isolated retrieval of a flashcard item just doesn't do that. It's much, much more limited. Another thing is...
Is he going to go, no, I'm allergic to eggs. That's not one flashcard item. That's 4 flashcard items. I'm allergic to eggs. Like, he's saying it's not true because he literally does not understand what he's arguing against. He just has decided he is a stan for flashcards. He's white knighting flashcards, and he does not actually understand the underlying critique at all. He doesn't seem to be really trying to understand the underlying critique. And so he's just hurt that they're coming after his favorite little rectangular buddies. And I mean, I'm not going to say that it's not understandable. You know, you feel a certain affection for these things, and people. I mean, clearly, one thing I've noticed, I've never really gotten into flashcards in any context. I think the last time I ever used a flashcard was I think I was in primary school, and I was required to use them. But people put a lot of work into it, and they put a lot of thought into how they're going to compile them and all that stuff. And so I can understand having an emotional connection to it, and I think that is part of what's going on here. But he also just really is very incurious when it comes to anything that challenges his understanding of how this stuff works.
Massive input means just that, massive input. If you spend an hour with flashcards, how many flashcards are you going to do? 100? Maybe? A few more than that? 150? Whereas in the same hour...
Wrong! I did 151 once.
With mass input of content, you are exposing yourself to significantly more, massively...
Bu aşçı canın hikayesi. Can her sabah saat 6'da uyanır. Kahvaltısını yapar ve kahvesini içer.
More words, connections, inferences, grammatical...
Yeah, this is a story, so there's all sorts of... You're connecting... It's not just you're connecting words to individual words to individual meanings, or individual phrases to individual meanings. You're connecting the phrases to each other. You're making all sorts of connections.
Yeah, but you're making a massive mistake here, and what...
Oh, okay. Put us right. Put us right. Elmo's little brother.
Okay. Because I've tried both routes. I'm literally...
I mean, I'm beginning to think he really hasn't. Because the thing about input, I mean, is you have to actually have the right approach to using it. If you're trying to use it in the same way as you're using flashcards and just trying to remember everything, and and it's a tool for memorization, then you really have not been trying it, because you're not engaging with it in the way you're trying to engage with it. There is a thought process that goes with these things.
Really learning Spanish by pure input, and then for Chinese I'm doing a lot of flashcards with some input. Okay, so the difference here is that with flashcards you're actively engaging.
No, you aren't. You're not even, like, you're not engaging at all. Memorizing shit is not engaging. There's nothing, like, you...
Act, like, with every single word that pops up, okay?
You're actively engaging with every single word that pops up. What does he think engaging means?
That's why it can become a bit of a session, like almost a bit of a mental workout. But with input, you're kind of skimming over a whole heap of stuff and you get some things.
Once again, I am, like, fucking begging him. Like, the linguists in his comments, absolute long-suffering people that you must be, could somebody explain to him that there's more than one way to engage with input? And that what he's describing here is called extensive reading. And extensive reading is actually very good, especially for grammar. It is actually a very effective method. It is not the only way to engage with it. He just does not... He has never bothered to really understand what it is he's arguing against. He just knows he's arguing against it. He just has decided he's against it, and he doesn't even need to know what it is.
Here and there. Like, I've shown that through my Dreaming Spanish series, that sometimes you need to see words hundreds of times before they even settle into your brain.
Yeah, which is what, I mean, and you see them in context. Often with, like, visual and auditory cues and things like that help you to understand what this word is doing there, even. I mean, the wild thing, we watched his, like, why he fundamentally disagrees with ALG, based on Dreaming Spanish. And the hilarious thing about that was he was describing what he was supposed to be able to get after the amount of input he's had. And it was literally the thing that he said he had. He literally was getting the exact results they said that he should be getting at that point. So, like, that's kind of one in the W column for ALG, I would have thought. But somehow nothing is ever in the W column for input because he does not understand it, but he knows he doesn't like it.
And sometimes they still don't settle, okay? And it takes a fucking flashcard to get them in there. Like, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do input, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do flashcards. I'm saying they work, they complement each other. They work great together. Like, why would you not do both?
Because flashcards are kind of pointless for this. And there's a more effective way of developing a richer understanding of things. Like, he's explaining all this if you would actually sit there and try to understand what he's saying rather than trying to figure out how you can say it's wrong.
In my brain, unless you just do not like flashcards, fine, that's fine, don't do it then.
I mean, I don't like flashcards because I've never found them useful. Like, it isn't that I have an aversion to little rectangles. I just have never found them terribly worthwhile. I've found more effective ways of doing it. I've never used them for anything, really. But, it is time for me to wrap up for today. Thank you to everyone who joined in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And let me just remind you, we are raising funds for the current crowdfunded translation project. I'm now up to $890 out of the fundraising goal of $1,200. And I really could use the remainder kind of ASAP. It would be a big help for me. If anyone wants to do that and is in a position to do that, it is greatly appreciated. And if you want to read the translations in the current projects, you can find them at that second link. I will be back tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and I look forward to seeing you there. Have a good rest.